first question really is, what advice would you give to people planning their first commercial indie game? Now, you've been very generous with your advice up to this point with all the blogs and the speeches and everything. But if there were sort of like main ones, because a lot of our people are trying to make that jump, trying to make the jump from being a hobbyist or a group of friends to doing their first commercial thing and putting some money on the line. So what would be your top tips?
Yeah, so my top tips, and this is very, I want to make sure that anybody listening, because I'm going to be honest, what I'm speaking to is a person who is very specifically, they want to make money and they want to do this as a living and they want to grow into it. Now, there's a couple divisions within people who make games that I don't want to like, dash your dreams. So if you're an artist and you're getting government grants or anything, or you're trying to make a real movement stuff, I'm not talking to you because you can do your own thing. Like this advice does not apply to you. I'm also not applying this advice to somebody who is legitimately doing this as a hobby. Like they just want to, they just like engine programming, or they just like building elaborate 3D worlds or something, and you don't care about the money. That's fine. And that's totally, both of those cases are totally perfectly legitimate. And but my advice here is specifically for people who are trying to make this a legit business or really trying to make money. And I think the most, if you've never released a game before and you've maybe been working on it, I would say you have to keep it short and release the game, and go in knowing that your first game is not going to sell. Just go in with that. Don't try and make your masterpiece uber representation of your soul, because you just don't have the skills yet, and you don't even know what your skills that you don't know are. Like there's so many things that it's required to make a game that you just don't even know what they are. And releasing a game is a skill upon itself. Like just cutting, because you're going to have to learn how to cut features and how to get things out and make do and little hacks and just get your game across the finish line. And that is the hardest thing. That is super duper hard. Even if you're a good coder or if you're an artist, the hardest thing is getting it done. And so you really have to learn that skill. And so that's why I make those short games that are just like one screen or that sort of thing. I would say go in with the assumption that your first game is not going to sell, and that your main objective is actually to release a game. Because it's kind of like riding a bike. You don't go from not knowing how to ride a bike to saying, oh, I'm going to ride in the Tour de France. Like you just don't do that. You start and you're just like, I just need to get to the end of the driveway. Okay, I just need to be able to ride this bike to the end of the street. I just need to be able to ride to the grocery store. Like you learn how to take these little things, and that's what you got to do with game development. If you've never released a game, is just try and get to the end of the driveway. You're not going to break any speed records. You're just trying not to fall down, and you're just trying to get to the edge of the street. That's it. And so you got to have that same mentality with games, and there's lots of ways of doing that, but the main thing is just keep your game super duper small. And my website, I blog a lot on a website called howtomarketagame.com. That's my personal website. And if you just Google it, there's something I call the stair-step approach. And then also I have one, I think it's called This Game is Simple, or How to Make a Simple Game, because a lot of people don't understand what a simple game is. It's not until you start making games that you know that they're simple, what a simple game is. And so I hear a lot of advice from famous indies and stuff, and they say like, oh, just make a simple game. Well, it's like, well, what is a simple game? And so I wrote a blog post about what simple games are. And the basic gist of it is, look at games that were released to arcades from 1975, I think that's when they really started coming out, 75 to 82. Like those type of arcade games like Asteroids or, even Donkey Kong, those games are simple. And so I know they're not going to set the world on fire, but you're just trying to learn how to release games. Those kind of games and those type of genre are the best ones to kind of release. You're not going to sell a lot of them because those games have been made a lot, but they're just good ways to get your ability to release games, which is such an important thing. And then you're going to learn so much from that. So that's my key bit of advice.
Hi guys, Stuart DeVille here from Game Dev London. Thanks for watching that clip of the Game Dev London podcast. If you visit our website, gamedev.london, you will find links to all of the places you can listen to the full version of that episode. You can also find information about our live events, our Twitch streams, our game jams, our competitions and more. And why not, come and join us in our Discord. Hit subscribe and follow us for more clips like this. All links will be in the description below. Thanks again, and see you soon.